DJ Immortal, live in the mix.
All right, Outlaw Radio Live fans, we are live on the air with none other than the legendary Dinco D of the Leaders of the New School. How you doing this evening?
Doing great, man. Great to be here. Glad. Hope everybody's safe, but doing good.
That's good, man. I'm glad to hear you're doing good with this pandemic going on, man. It's not a good place for 2020 right now.
Nah, not at all.
But I do want to ask you, man, going back to the start, what made you decide to get into the music industry initially?
Initially, well, growing up in New York and being around the epic center of hip-hop and the birthplace, you were surrounded by it. So I was always surrounded by the elements of people DJing in the park. My brother was a DJ. And the radio being here, some of the first groundbreaking hip-hop records. So, it was installed in me through all the elements around me.
And as we all know, you are a founding member of the legendary group Leaders of the New School that was alongside Busta Rhymes. I have to ask you, can you tell us the story behind the formation? How did all you guys meet?
Well, we all went to the same school in Uniondale, New York, Long Island. We all went to the same school. We met in Turtle Hook, where we used to battle and stuff. Brown and Busta used to battle. Busta was mainly doing like beatboxing at the time, and Brown would battle. So, we met in school and living in the same community. We all came together, and Brown actually brought me and Busta together and formed the group.
And if you don't mind me asking, man, back in those days, did you think Busta Rhymes was going to be as big as he is today, just by back in the day?
Yeah, I mean, once we formed the group, seeing the potential in each other, we all knew that we would eventually be big. And Busta just having the voice that he was blessed with, you knew once you hear his voice, you would know that it would carry him a long way. So that was part of his thing, having one of the dopest voices in hip-hop.
And I have to say, you guys as a group, even yourself, you guys are like huge. Like everybody knows Leaders of the New School, man. And I have to ask you, how does that feel just knowing you guys are household names after all these years?
It's a blessing. It's great. We worked hard for it. We put on shows where we went all out. We put energy into the music, writing the songs. We studied people before us, all the groups that came before us, Cold Crush, Treacherous 3, Crash Crew. We studied a lot of them. So we definitely put the work in to be where we wanted to be. We always knew that if we put the work in, we would be a household name. So
and
we definitely put the work in for it.
Oh man, most definitely. You guys have countless classic tracks and albums. It's extraordinary, man. You guys most definitely are East Coast legends.
Thank you.
And also, you guys were signed to Electro Records. I have to ask you, how did that record deal come to be for you guys, and what was it like being signed to them?
Dante Ross was the A&R at the time, so he had seen us on the underground scene coming up, and he had worked with a lot of groups coming up. So we was performing at some club in Manhattan, and he happened to be there, and it was one of those shows where the mics was going out, and we had to use one mic, and being three MCs, so we had to pass the mic back and forth, and do our choruses and stuff together on one mic. And we handled it pretty well, and he seen the determination in that, and he seen how well we did, and he called us up to the label, and we went from there.
And that's what's up, man. And not a lot of individuals really get record labels like the way you guys did. They discovered you while you were just doing battles, man. That's what's up.
Right.
So, also, in the year 1991, Leaders of the New School released their debut album, Future Without a Past. I have to ask you, what's the inspiration and story behind that iconic record?
Okay, well, being that we was from Long Island, we came up under Public Enemy. Chuck D was our mentor. He actually gave us the name, and he taught us a lot of the game. I used to go record shopping with Chuck D back in the day. I used to help file records at the studio, at Spectrum Studio in Hempstead. So it was very resourceful to have Public Enemy as your mentors. You know, we learned a lot from them, from the producers, from Keith, Hank, Eric, Vietnam, Statler, and everybody that was part of that whole 510 South Franklin movement.
And that's really cool, though. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not know that you guys, got brought up by Public Enemy. That's actually really extraordinary.
Yeah, he gave us our name. He taught us, he caught us early in our career. Like, right around the same time we were getting signed, because we was trying to come out under the, the Public Enemy moniker, because they was part of us. They was the Long Island staple at the time, so we was blessed to be under them.
That's actually really cool. Did you actually get featured on any of their records back before you guys were leaders of the New School?
No, we didn't, but we worked, Chuck and Hank actually used us, they got us to write for a couple of people. We was writing songs early for a lot of groups. Some of the songs that never came out, some big acts, different acts we wrote songs for. So they put us on the game early and showed us where it was at. Writing and producing was where it was at. So we were blessed to be able to have that as part of our growing up, learning those different techniques of the business.
And are you still a ghostwriter today, or is that something you just did back in the day?
No, I still produce. I still produce with different people, so I'm still doing that.
So, also in the same year in 1991, the leaders of the New School performed with A Tribe Called Quest on the Arsenio Hall show. I have to ask you, what was it like actually performing on that talk show?
That was an incredible experience. That was the thing that took us, beyond everything in music, man. That record is such a classic, and it was a great energy that it was extraordinary, man. It was great. So that experience I'll live with, man, and I'll be happy with for the rest of my life. But yeah, it was definitely a good time, man. We actually did Arsenio twice. We did it with Tribe, and then we went back ourselves, and we performed What's Next, the single that I produced.
And honestly, back in the day, Arsenio Hall was such a huge platform just for hip-hop and R&B acts to actually be spotlighted on, man. So that's actually really incredible that you actually had that primetime spot.
Yeah, Arsenio was the thing. Also in Living Color, we did In Living Color like 3 times. So those was like, L.A. was definitely great to us, and the TV world definitely supported us. Everybody supported us when we came out. It was such a groundbreaking, energetic time for us. Like we were definitely putting in the work and seeing a lot of great results from it. Even though we didn't release, even though the albums didn't go gold or platinum, but our persona and image and energy was just worldwide and was recognized.
And also, in 1993, you guys released your second album called Time, The Inner Mind's Eye. I have to ask you, what's the story behind that name?
Well, me and Buster we actually was in Atlanta, and we went in this bookstore after the first album, and we had found this book called The Pale Horse. And we were studying that, and it was talking about a lot of things that's going on now. So we incorporated some of those concepts and ideas about time, and we were studying, we were doing our own studying and coming up with our own thoughts about life and where it's going and how it's going to be and the value of time and the mind, and, we was just dealing with things like that, but we still wanted to make it fun and just musical without going too deep. So the Inner Mind's Eye was basically just talking about time and life and where we going and where we headed.
And I really do like this, just the name behind it. It's actually a really different kind of name. I really think it's catchy and most definitely inspiring.
Yeah, I came up with the title, both albums, The Future by the Past and Time, The Inner Mind's Eye. I was basically, I was more of the conceptual dude of the group and the writer of the group and coming up with concepts and ideas. So, I just tried to be very creative and apply it to life and what we was going through.
And just quickly before we move off the topic of leaders of the New School, I have to ask, do you guys think you're going to be getting back together and just maybe doing one more record or maybe a tour?
Well, we actually, before Tribe started their last album, before Fight Pass, we have recorded 5 songs and started 5 songs, but you know, during everybody's schedule was different and timing and Buster doing his thing, so we never completed it. But you know, if God willing, you know, there'll be some more music coming from Leaders of the New School, some unreleased stuff.
And you also did some work with Money B of Digital Underground on your song Black Pirate King James Freestyle. I have to ask you, what was it like working with Money B of the Digital Underground?
Well, we was always, you know, we had been on tour with them when Tupac was down with them. You know, we used to see them on certain shows. So that was my boy. You know, we was all cool. They was definitely supporters, fellow and us, and we were supporters of them. So it was great, man. It was a good time. I had went out there. Me and Droby actually went out there together to handle some business and do some things. And you know, he's on the song too. So we was like, while we out here, let's just get in there and make some music, and the vibe came.
That's actually pretty awesome. I've heard a lot of stories about Digital Underground, and back in those days, they loved to party and most definitely had some of the best concerts out
there. Yeah, definitely. Thanks, package.
You can't go wrong with that album, Humpty Hump, you know what I mean?
Right. yeah, I'm definitely a fan of the Digital Underground, Money B. Big respect to Money B, man. And the whole Digital Underground family, Tupac.
So when actually you were out there with Digital Underground, if you don't mind me asking, what was it like actually being able to share the stage with Tupac?
He was full of heart, man. And the dude had a heart of gold, man. He was a dope dude. Like, we actually had one experience with a sound man was I'm not sure if we had a sound man or they had one or whatever, but it was messing up our sound, and Tupac was like, yo, telling the sound man to get it right, you know, don't mess up their sound. Like, he was a very protective dude for the culture, man. He wanted to see this culture, you know, succeed full-heartedly. He always had our back.
Most definitely. He always loved perfection, I can tell you that for a fact.
Exactly.
And jumping ahead to 2016, you released your debut solo album called Cameo Flows. I have to ask you,
Cameo Flows, yeah.
Sorry, Cameo Flows, my bad. What's the inspiration behind that album, and also where can our listeners buy or stream a copy of that record?
Well, we have been around. I put that record together with my brother, DJ Rob Flo. He's a DJ out here, producer, and you know, he definitely had my back. You know, we had met in New York, so through mutual people, and he was like, yo, I needed some help, so I had, you know, he was a DJ, and I was like, yo, that's the move. Let's put it together, and he helped me put that together. He actually helped me put that record together.
And is it available online for purchase? And do you have any like hard copies available for the old school listeners?
I'm real soon. Actually, it was on the site for a while. I'm not sure if it's still up there, but I'll definitely get some information on it and get it. You know, once everything gets back to normal, I'll be able to have some hard copies of that.
And also, last year you released your EP, Stop Rushing
to Judgment.
Stop Rushing to Judgment. I was going to ask you, what's the story behind that EP, and also where can our listeners buy or stream a copy of that?
Okay, well, the story behind that was last year I went to Russia to teach hip hop as a musical diplomat. So we was out in Russia for about 4 weeks, and I met some producers out there, some MCs, and some artists. And I was like, you know, I'm going to take this time and put this thing together. And me and my man, Igor the Intelligent from out there, we put that together in like one day. So it was definitely a great experience. And my homegirl, Lisa, she's on it. And it was all recorded in Russia. So, and I just, you know, I came out to Russia, and, you know, you always hear stereotypes of, you know, the Russian, you know, it's racist and over there. But I didn't experience none of that, had a great time. So it just felt right to call it Stop Rushing to Judgment. You know what I'm saying?
And it's a good story behind that as well, because like you said, a lot of individuals think, you know, Russia has a lot of racism, but it doesn't, man. So that's actually a really cool name to go with the record.
Yeah, it was definitely a great experience, man. Peace to all my hip hoppers in Russia. Definitely had a great time out there. I was out there with Lord Finesse, actually.
Is he actually on that EP as well?
No, I was the only one that recorded while we was out there.
And also, a few days ago on April 15th, you took part in the Heat DJ Pool conference call. I have to ask you, tell us a bit more about that event, and exactly what is a DJ Pool conference call?
Well, you get all the DJs on the call, you play the music, and they can get service to records and stuff. Big shout out to Rampage, another brother I came up with who was on our first album, you know, down with the Flipmode Squad and all of that, Buster's Peoples. But he put that together, and I talked to a couple DJs, servicing some of the new music that I had.
And I noticed the flyer as well had like Twista and whatnot as well. Had a lot of really big names actually in that DJ Pool conference call.
Yeah, that's Rampage. You know, Rampage been in the game for a while, so he knows a lot of people in the industry, and they came to support his cause and what he's doing for hip-hop. And it's a great time, great thing.
So I have to ask you, Dinco, what's next for you? Is there any other new records, any shows you're planning after this pandemic is over?
Yeah, definitely, man. I have a New School Inc. album carrying on the tradition of New School Society. Some of the producers and artists that I worked with from Leaders of the New School, I'll be releasing that. I'll also be releasing a solo project. And a couple of artists that I'm working with from New School Inc. That's the new company name.
And I have to ask you, when is the estimated release date for that record?
There's no time when it drops. It's going to drop. You'll see the clues coming online and wherever I can promote it. But yeah, you'll be notified.
So this is the time in the interview, Dinco, that I give a chance for the individual that comes on the platform. Just a chance to give shout-outs to whomever they want to give shout-outs to, and also your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you if they're not already doing so.
Okay, you can catch me at DINCOD, Dinco D, at Twitter, DINCOD, Instagram, DINCOD, just Google me. You can catch me on Facebook. You can catch me all on just Google Dinco, DINCO. And also, I got a record out now called Play It Like It Mean It with Jerobi. You can catch that on YouTube. The video's out. I got Instant Winter single I did. I got How We Like It, a record with me and C Brown. Got a couple records out, but yeah, the New School Inc. is the new label, and I'll be putting out some new releases. And I want to say big shout out and respect to my boy Jason Williams, known as Vice First, who just passed yesterday recently, man. Big respect to his family and everybody in the EO Dub family. He was a big founder of End of the Week here in New York.
I do want to say my condolences to your friend. It's always sad when you lose someone. So my sincere condolences to you and his entire family.
Definitely, thanks.
You're most certainly welcome, Dinco. And I want to say thank you so much for coming up on Outlaw Radio Live. I've been a fan of yourself and Leaders of the New School for a long time, so it was an absolute honor and most definitely a privilege. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, and I'll be sending you all the new stuff, man. I'll send you that tonight. Just get back after me after the show, and I'll send you some exclusives, definitely.
Sounds good. That's an absolute honor, and if you send it, I'll spin it, Dinco. Thank you so much.
Got you, brother. Everybody be good, stay safe, man, and keep love alive. That's it.
Most definitely. Have yourself a wonderful night, Dinco.
Okay, brother. Peace.
Peace.